shake. I'm trying to walk away. I swear my wrists are cray. I'm getting used to change. Face of a mortal, that's so typical. Body of the dawners, that's so typical. Feel like a god, that's so typical. Based on mortars, that's so typical. Don't wanna talk about it, I'm so cynical. So gonna cut it out like a umbilical. Don't wanna risk the ouch, the ridicule. It's so typical.
These restless eyes of mine will sit in to my heart and sugar. In a jumbled life of glitter, dream hit concrete, mind all jerk up. Tend to think in 1,000 thoughts, I'll pop through north to the voice, get bored. Endless stairs in a sinking door, I search for things I don't need no more. Baby, I'm typically every day, can't call it shady. I'm airing you cause I'm an anxious state that worries daily. But if I link my G's, it goes away down honey lane. I gallivant with darling, baby, jet, jet, jet.
Face of a mortal, that's so typical. Body of the dawners, that's so typical. Feel like a god, that's so typical. Based on mortars, that's so typical. Face of a mortal, that's so typical. Body of the dawners, that's so typical. Feel like a god, that's so typical. Based on mortars, that's so typical. Don't wanna talk about it, I'm so cynical. So gonna cut it ridicule. It's so typical.
I'm in a tunnel, foot on the gas. I see these demons, hoping I crash. All that I wanted, like the last laugh. Gotta move fast, get to the bag. I saw the signs for so long. Just a reminder to hold on. Ain't gonna cry or go home. Stay strong, yeah. Walls keep closing in, closing in. I keep going in, going in. See that I'm gonna be the first, but they praying that I won't let. And you know that I get better when I wanna get better. I get better when I wanna get better. I get better when I wanna get better. If you do it good, I'ma do it better. If you do it good, I'ma do it better.
Always on my grind, it's 24/7, I don't settle. I demand my respect cause they'll finesse you if you let them. Told myself I was the champion, went and got the medals. I showed the world my true colors and they was black and yellow. I let the past be the past, I'm on a new level. It's hard to pick which car to drive, I got a few of them. The first to make it cross the line like a true winner. Cause if you knew better, then you do better. Yeah.
Better when
Yeah.
I wanna
Yeah.
get better.
I get better when I wanna get better. I get better when I wanna get better.
If you do it good, I'ma do it better. If you do it good, I'ma do it better. Chosen one, born to shine. I can't stop, one more try. I know that it's my time.
past be the past, I'm on a new level.
No regrets, born to shine. I can't stop, one more try. I know that I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And you know that
I get better when I wanna get better. I get better when I wanna get better.
if you Tried so hard to raise me right, but I was born to run the night. Dad took me hunting when I was a kid. Wouldn't believe what the hell I did. He said, boy, hold this. Told my cousin, you better run. Last time he poked fun at me, got my with a tree.
With a new stadium rising just to the west of us, for now we're back for football in the familiar setting of Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap. It's the Los Angeles Rams and the Buffalo Bills. Mike Tirico along with Greg Olson. We welcome you. That's the punter, Ethan Evans, to get this started. And off we go in Western New York. Across the 20, they'll mark them down before the 25-yard line. And that's where the offense will take over. So here's a 1st and 10 now. They'll start from the 24.
Brown 80!
On the ground, this is James Cook.
You spend all week on your opening script. What are the plays that allow you to find a rhythm and have some early success offensively? Well, in this case, that first play you drawn up sent you going back the wrong direction. How does that change this play caller's approach to the ground game going forward?
So after the loss on 1st, here's 2nd and 14. Out of the gun, here's Allen. He's got the connection there. It's Joshua Palmer. And he'll be taken down after a gain of
play caller has told us he wants to get him early touches, get him a feel for the game. Nice job there making that happen.
Here's a 3rd down and 4. From the shotgun, it's Allen. And on 3rd down, that ball incomplete.
Remember what they told us, Mike, leading up to this game. They said it is so critical for us to find success, especially on 3rd down. We want to maintain possession, extend these drives. Well, the first crack comes up and they fail through the air, and we're going to have to regroup and be able to have better success throughout the remainder of this game.
And he'll be brought down, short return, and they'll take over there. They'll go play action here with Chuck. That's caught left side by Otten. It'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3.
A bit of a quick hitter here, and what you're hoping for, Mike, is that the defense can't react quickly enough because the ball's coming out so hot. But they knew it was coming, and they end up holding them to just a short gain.
Williams, 1st down, and he's not done. And he'll be taken down as he takes it just shy of midfield. A gain there of 21. Good for a Rams 1st down.
I think it's clear this is something this offense wants to major in, the ability to run the ball effectively against this defense. And after that big gain, you have to imagine they're going to come back to it and dare them to stop it.
So they come to the line for 1st down and 10. From the gun, it's Shuck. This throw right side is caught by Allen. And they'll take this down inside the 35. That's another 1st down, another big play. The defense has some issues. Gain of 18.
1st down, Rams.
Operating out of the gun, this is Shuck. Finds Nakua on the slant. And they're going to get this all the way down inside the 5. That is a big gainer for the Rams. And even 30 yards. The Bills going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll be disappointed there after giving up the 1st down. Williams is going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown.
Make no mistake about it, he may get the glory, but that does not happen without unbelievable blocking up front. So let's give the big guys all the credit in the world. He's able to displace the defense right there at the point of attack, and that's about as easy a goal line touchdown as you're going to see all year.
The extra point from Carney is good, and the Rams will take a 7-0 lead. So following the score, here's Evans to send it away. On the return, this is Strong. He'll get this past the 20 before he's brought down shy of the 25-yard line. Operating from their own 23, they'll begin 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Cook to start this drive. And to pick up 3 or maybe 4. Jaquan Brisker there to bring him down.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll keep it on the ground with Cook. And he's out of bounds up beyond the 40-yard line. 14 on the pickup. 1st down, Buffalo.
And these are the explosive runs that open everything up. There's all this conversation about the value of the run game, but when you take a look at the best running teams, Mike, it's not necessarily how many yards they run for, it's how many big plays do they generate on the ground. And when you can generate big plays on the ground, it makes everything so much more difficult for the defense.
Ball placed at the 45 for 2nd and 5. Once again, it's Cook. We get this to about midfield. Jaquan Brisker there to bring him down.
And while that run wasn't anything really to write home about, what it allows them to do, Mike, is keep everything in the playbook at their disposal. 3rd and short, now it's up to these coaches to dial up their best short yardage play and extend this drive.
Here's 3rd and 2. We'll try and run here with Cook. And he's going to have a Bills first down. At least it appears that way. Got it by maybe the length of a football.
I know it's early in this game, but in my mind, that's 4-down territory. And certainly now the coach doesn't have to make that decision. He keeps it on the ground on 3rd and short, gets a fresh set of downs, and now they got to see if they can come away with some points.
So now they'll throw it with Allen. Now he'll run. And he's out of bounds after a pickup of 3.
Nothing open here downfield. I think it's a good job just getting to the edge, getting something positive, getting out of bounds.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's 2nd down and 7. From the gun, Josh Allen. Down the field, he's got the hookup to Shakir. And he's in. Khalil Shakir. Touchdown, Buffalo. His 6th touchdown now for the season.
When you think back to their first possession of this game, Mike, it resulted in a punt. Not exactly the fast start the coaches told us was so important as this game unfolds. They get the ball back with possession 2. Now they try to find some rhythm, find their identity of the game plan, and they come away with 6. So that's how you bounce back in this league. It's not always going to be perfect. Really nice job settling into this game here with their 2nd possession.
Will Lutz set to kick off.
So back to level after the touchdown, and time for the kickoff. This returnable from the 4. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start.
At their own 28-yard line.
They'll start this on the ground. It's Williams. Inside the 40. Down the sideline to the 20. An electrifying run, bringing it all the way inside the 15-yard line.
58 yards.
What a run by Williams. That goes for 58.
A gain of 58 yards. First down, Rams.
On the move at the 14-yard line, it's 1st and 10. They go jet sweep and give it to Adams. And this defense having nothing of it. They get him down for a loss on the play.
Tried to get a little cute here, get the ball into the hands of one of their receivers in space on a jet motion, but really nice job there by the defense. When you can set good edges and you can have good force players on the perimeter of the defense, there's really nowhere for this jet sweep to go, because with them running horizontal before the snap, Mike, it's very hard for these receivers to cut and get vertical.
He was looking for Terrence Ferguson, the tight end. And it's going to be third down. To the air is shot. And he's in. Touchdown, Rams.
Mike, we used to have a saying that it was the responsibility of the receiver to run the route through the eyes of the quarterback. And I think this is a great example here. Two guys clearly on the same page. Quarterback expected his target to be in a certain place at a certain time. He's there, ball's delivered accurately. He's able to pick up the rest with his legs, and that's a big-time connection for the touchdown.
Makes the score Rams 14, Bills 7.
So following the score, here's Evans to send it away. On the return, this is Strong. And he'll work this one past the 25 to right about the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
Throwing now, Allen here on first down. Looking middle there, but it's incomplete. Joshua Palmer was the intended receiver. And it'll be second down.
And I like this defensive game plan. When you're going against an elite quarterback like this guy, Mike, you have to get bodies in his face. You have to get him around his feet. You have to move him off his spot. Because if he can sit there in rhythm, on time, comfortable in the pocket, he's going to pick you apart. So it doesn't always have to be a sack, but you have to make him uncomfortable in the pocket.
He was looking for his tight end, Dawson Knox. And it'll be third down.
All things considered, it's actually a pretty good pass. I mean, he puts the ball in a place where only his guy can catch it. But I think he hears those footsteps coming from that nearest defender, and he's not able to secure the catch through contact.
Hey, home. Regular.
On third down, it's Josh Allen. Down the field, but it falls incomplete. Keon Coleman, the intended receiver. And it's going to bring up fourth down. Here's Ryan Rico now. And he's on to punt for the second time in this opening quarter. This brought in out past the 20. And that is good coverage by the punt team as they meet him and bring him down. Run now for the rookie out of Georgia. And he's going to get this to the 37-yard line. So after one, the Rams out to the early lead. And EA Sports NFL Sunday returns after this. Second quarter now, Rams in control of the football as they've got it with first and 10. They'll stay on the ground. And a strong first down run, a pickup of 9, setting up second and short.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up second and a yard at the 46-yard line.
And before the snap, we have a whistle, and this could very well be a false start. From the 41, here's second and 6. On play action, it's shut. The blitz overwhelms the offensive line, and down he goes. Terrell Bernard uses the first of their timeouts. Talk things over before third down. Looking downfield for Otten. And he's going to be looking at a short field for the offense after the INT. Chance to tie the game or even take the lead.
So the first part of any interception is just end up with the ball in your hands, right? That's what every defensive coordinator wants. But anytime you can get yards on the return, that's just an added bonus. And that's what we see here. There's a little space, does a great job securing the catch, and all of those yards just set up for better field position as their offense takes the field.
Out of bounds at the 30-yard line. A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd down and 5. Allen going to give it to Cook. He'll try to get back to the line, but he's not having it. Going to lose a yard.
So there's multiple factors, Mike, that make blitzes successful. So, of course, there's the initial design. Can you attack the vulnerabilities of the offense's blocking scheme? And then in this case, the next phase is the timing. You can see this linebacker knew exactly when that ball was going to be snapped. The offensive line had no chance to identify and pick him up, and he's able to bring him down for a loss.
To the air on 3rd down, here's Allen.
And we've seen this time and time again. When this guy is in a groove like he is here, I mean, he's impossible to block. I mean, the offensive line, they've got to come up with a better plan to slow him down, or he's going to completely wreck this game.
And no return forthcoming. It's a touchback, and will come out to the 20-yard line. On 1st down, shot to the left side, and Adams has it. And mark him down up beyond the 30. Line of scrimmage is the 31 as they line up 1st and 10. And he'll get this to about the 36-yard line. That's Gregory Rousseau in on the stop.
At the 36-yard line. It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5. Throwing is shot. That's going to be incomplete. Good work by the defender. Bodied his man up. Wouldn't allow the catch. It'll force 3rd down.
He's usually such a reliable target in the passing game, Mike. We just don't see him struggle to come down with catches like that all too often. And when you're one of the go-to guys on your team, I know the hit's coming, but guess what? It feels a lot better after you take that hit after a catch than it does after a drop.
And this is going to be incomplete. That is great work there, making things difficult defensively. It'll set up a 4th down.
And this passing game continues to come up short these last couple plays. That's 2 consecutive incompletions in a row. Now they're staring 4th down right in the face.
And he'll get forward a few yards on the return. That's where the offense will take over. They'll start on the ground with Cook. Finding room at the 35. Gets to the edge at the 30. And they finally bring him down, but he gets it to the red zone. Brings it inside the 20. It is a big run by Cook. A gain of 57 yards.
Well, I'm not sure you're going to find a better example of just pure speed in the open field than that run right there. I mean, when he got past the first wave, you got the sense that he might just be able to outrun everybody on the field.
He'll swing this one out to Cook. And they're in business now. He is out of bounds inside the 10. Give him a dozen yards on that one and give them first and goal.
First and goal at the 7-yard line.
Here's Cook. Nothing there. He is fortunate just to get back to the line. Now it's second and goal.
It's a gain of a yard.
Nice job by the running back making the first guy miss, but it's the pursuit by the entire defense. Even though he doesn't get him down on his first try, the rest of his guys are all rallying to the ball, and they bring him down for a short gain.
To the air. On second down, here's Allen. Oh, nice open field tackle there. He could not get free. They're going to stop him for no gain.
Gain of 1 yard on the play.
Defensive coordinators preach all the time, play pass defense with vision. It's exactly the case here. They're able to rally to the ball, keep that to a short gain.
Two minutes remain here in this first half. Greg and I back in Buffalo after this. Big play coming up. Third and goal.
Middle.
From the gun, Dallas. That is hot. What a job to keep the play alive. Khalil Shakir. Touchdown, Bills. That is second touchdown of the game. This one number 7 on the year. The kick by Lutz is good. And the Bills will tie things up. We are all even at 14.
Will Lutz set to kick off.
We are all square. 14 apiece the score as this one's away. This taken at the 5. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive.
At their own 27-yard line.
Shuck looking to throw on first down. That is intercepted. Picked off by Christian Benford. And he is going to score. A pick 6 for the touchdown.
That's about as bad as it could possibly get. Mike, you're only one play into the drive. You're trying to establish a little early rhythm, get something going, and now you're jogging off the field watching your opponent celebrate in the end zone. So they're going to have to come back out here on offense pretty quickly, regroup, take a deep breath, and try to bounce back.
The kick by Lutz is good. And the Bills have broken the deadlock as they move out to a 21-14 lead. So now after the touchdown, Lutz going to send this one away. Here comes a return from the 5. And he'll bring it out to the 22-yard line. That's where the offense will take the field.
At their own 22-yard line.
Here is Shuck on first and 10. That finds Nakua downfield, complete. And they will bring him down on the other side of midfield. What a way to down. On 1st and 10, here's Shuck. Moving outside the pocket. He's going to tuck it and go. And he'll be forced out of bounds and pick up a couple on that one.
Well, let's give credit here to the coverage unit, Mike. There was nowhere to go with the ball for that quarterback. He had no choice but to just tuck it down himself, and he's able only to pick up a short gain.
2nd down, they need 7. Now Shuck. Flush to his right. And he'll just bite the bullet and throw this one away. That was a good idea. Didn't force anything there. But now it's going to bring up 3rd down.
Nice example there, Mike, of the quarterback just being smart with the ball, understanding it didn't quite develop the way he had intended. Throw that ball out of harm's way, live to play another down.
Now Shuck on 3rd down. That's complete. Calvin Austin. That's his first reception of the ballgame, and it really comes at a good time as they get the conversion on 3rd down. Looking to throw on 1st down. Here's Shuck. He finds Austin with the grab.
So they have these rules for the receivers, Mike. They call them green grass rules. And the idea is if you're running across the field and you're looking at the quarterback, you're going to stay on the run. If you're not looking at the quarterback, that tells him, I'm going to sit in this soft zone. I'm going to what they call punch and pivot and stop. And that tells the quarterback to put the ball on your chest. That nonverbal communication between the receiver and the quarterback, recognizing when you're open, stay open, that's the stuff that makes a lot of these offenses so difficult to defend.
Throwing again, Shuck. He'll get this to Kyron Williams. And they're in business now. He is out of bounds inside the 10. 17 yards on the gain, and now they've got 1st and goal.
The thing that jumps out to me the most, Mike, is just how often the quarterback is able to throw the ball to his first read in the progression. So hats off to the play caller. Him and the quarterback seeing the game.
Nowhere to go. He's going to be taken down. Now a timeout Rams. That's number 2. They'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go until halftime.
And that's a big-time play. It felt like they really needed it, Mike. That was a drive where the offense seemed to be in complete control. Anytime on the defense where you find yourself on your heels, you're giving up big plays, you're giving up fresh set of downs, you need a spark. You need something to change the momentum of the drive, and we'll see if that was it right there.
On 2nd down, it's Shuck. That's hauled in at the 2. To the goal line and in. Puka Nacua. Touchdown, Los Angeles. On comes Joshua Carty for the extra point. He gets it to go, and the Rams will even the score. It's now 21-all. Very little time remaining in this first half as this kick is away. On the return, this is strong. And he is stopped at 25. The drive will begin there. Here's Allen now on 1st and 10. Short pass taken in by Knox. Now timeout signal for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds until the break.
Every defense in the league, Mike, they stress the importance of defending the middle of the field. And in this case, that's just too much room to operate. They have to find a way to close and cloudy up those windows, make the quarterback throw the ball to the sidelines. When you allow him to operate in there, especially with that much space, we're going to make...
And the rush gets home. He'll go down. They got him. And the offense will take one here. Timeout with 6 left on the second quarter clock.
The defensive coaches, they preached all week, Mike. They have to have relentless pursuit of this quarterback when he tries to extend the play. So often it results in a great play for the offense and a big pickup. This time, because of that pursuit, it leads to a big loss.
Now a shot downfield for Samuel. That's going to be incomplete. They took a shot on the final play. Prayer not answered. And that is how this first half will come to an end. Both teams looked good on the offensive side in the first half. Will it carry over? We're about to find out. Second half is underway. This one taken at the 7. And he'll be brought down right around the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The third quarter begins with a run. And he goes forward. Good gain on that one. Pickup of 8 out to the 33-yard line.
8 yards on the pickup. Brings up second and 2.
They'll come to the line now on second and 2. They'll stick with him again. This defense all over this one. They get him down behind the line. It's a loss of a couple.
Back at the 30-yard line.
Third down, and here is Shuck. And he's going to have the first down taken down after a short pickup of 5, but it will keep the drive going.
This pitch and catch may have looked routine, but I promise you, Mike, these types of anticipatory throws, especially outside the numbers, they don't occur without countless reps, oftentimes when nobody's even watching.
To throw is Shuck. That is incomplete. No way to force the football in there. Good coverage. It'll bring up second down.
I got high standards for offensive players, but in this case, Mike, I think I'm giving all the credit to the defender. He timed that one up perfectly, and what could have been an easy play ends up as an incomplete.
So second down, and they'll run it. And they will finally track him down inside the 40-yard line. It's a gain there of 26 yards.
A gain of 26 yards.
Now a first and 10 from the 38-yard line. Off the play fake, here's Shuck. And this is too far out in front. That one's incomplete.
He's going to wish he had that one back. I think his receiver got behind the defense, Mike. It had a lot of room to run, but he just put a little too much on it, and they're not able to connect.
Chuck to throw on second down. He'll drop this down to Williams. He'll get about 6 before he's taken down.
Well, this is a great example of the old saying, Mike. You never go broke taking a profit. And give credit to this quarterback. I know it's not the big explosive play he was looking for, but getting the ball into the hands of his running back, allow him to pick up some extra yardage after the catch.
Open man, right side. He's got it. And he will have the first down. The drive will continue after a pickup of 8.
A gain of 9 yards. First down, Rams.
To the air once more. Shuck. Quick throw, taken in. And he's close to another first down. He's brought down just shy of the marker.
All right, so anytime you're facing the blitz, the best thing you can do as an offense is just get the ball out of your hand. Get into the hands of receiver, run after catch. In this case, nice job by the defense.
And he'll take it on in. Cade Otton. Touchdown, L.A.
Touchdown.
That his second TD catch of the season. Carty now to add the extra point. He's got it, and the Rams go up by 7, 28-21. So following the score, here's Evans to send it away. On the return, it's Ty Johnson. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
Now Allen on first down. He'll find his running back, Cook. And no chance to turn and go. That one good for just a couple.
A gain of 2 brings up second and 8 at the 27.
Ball on the 27. Here's second and 8. From the gun, Josh Allen. Forced out left. Trying to go back over the middle. You can't do that. It's intercepted. That's the safety, Cameron Curl. And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead.
I think anytime you find yourself trailing in the second half, Mike, all offensive play callers fight the urge to chase those points. They tend to get a little bit overeager. They tend to push the envelope sometimes a little too far. Those turnovers, they only make the deficit grow, not shrink. Now, there's a lot of football left, Mike. They can still get back into this. They just have to be a little bit smarter about which risks you're willing to take.
And he's into the end zone. Kyron Williams. Touchdown, Rams. That is second touchdown of the afternoon.
When you start talking about the qualities of a top-tier back in the NFL, Mike, we all talk about size, speed, the ability to keep your feet, the ability to have balance at contact. But the part we don't talk enough about is patience, understanding the blocking scheme, the timing, when to hit the hole, as much as what hole to hit. And I think you get a great example of what that looks like when it all comes together. He takes advantage of the scheme, and next thing you know, he hits his head on the goalpost.
We'll see a return here from his own end zone. Get across the 20, mark him at the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
They'll throw on first down with Allen. On the run to the right. He bought as much time as he could, but he will finally be taken down.
And again, it's their inability to prevent negative plays. It's a big reason, Mike, why they find themselves trailing in this game. First play of the series, they already put themselves in a massive hole.
Work to do now as they come up on second and long. Out of the gun, here's Allen. Now a shot downfield for Samuel.
I think when that ball left his hand, he had visions of a big play, and then that big play almost got flipped on its head because I think he's lucky that that ball didn't end up going back the other direction because that defender got both hands on it but just couldn't come down with the pick.
Third and long.
Alert!
From the shotgun, it's Allen. He tries to get that one down the field, but it is incomplete.
The offense just couldn't seem to get anything going that drive. They knew they had a long way to go, taking over possession that deep in their own territory. You want to pick up that first down and see if you can capitalize some momentum. Instead, the errant throw brings up fourth down, and they're going to have to punt it away.
And it's a very nice return. He has given the offense a short field.
At the 38-yard line.
Sutton in motion. On play action, it's Shuck. He'll be hit as he throws, and that one will wind up incomplete. Could not step into the throw that time. It'll bring up second down.
They got there in a hurry, didn't they, Mike? I mean, luckily for him, he saw that free rusher coming, and at the very least was able to get that ball out to prevent the sack.
Second and 10. Throwing is Shuck. Now a ball deep, middle of the field. And good running on the return. It'll help him out as the ball right around the 45-yard line.
It's not often, Mike, that everything breaks right for this type of return off of an interception. But, boy, is it beautiful when it does. I mean, look at the defenders just flip around and become blockers, trying to spring their guy to the house. Great athleticism, some great moves on his part. I mean, he's going to have some of his offensive teammates looking over their shoulder for their position.
And that one shut down pretty quickly. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing more.
I can promise you that is not how they wanted to start this drive, Mike. I mean, to get blown up at the point of attack, there was just nowhere for the back to go on that run.
Allen now on second down. That is incomplete.
Well, it's pretty clear the main reason why they find themselves trailing in this game, Mike, has really just been the inefficiency of this offense and primarily out of the quarterback position. I mean, to complete less than half of your pass attempts, it just makes it very hard to compete at a high level consistently in the NFL. And if they want to find themselves having any chance of getting back into this game and winning this one, he's going to have to get a lot better with the ball.
They come to the line needing 11 here on third down. From the gun, throw here for Allen. Flush to his right. He'll try to run for it. And he's out of bounds, but not until he gets inside the 25-yard line. It's another big play in a game that's had its share. 35 yards.
First and 10 at the 23-yard line.
First and 10. Allen going to make the read and hold on here. The ball comes out.
You know, it's amazing, Mike, that guys still end up fumbling the ball because I can tell you from experience, the first 15 minutes of every offensive practice is ball security circuit, and that could be a combination of multiple things. How to go to the ground without getting loose to the ball, almost like the art of falling. It could be running over bags or through bags as guys take swats at the ball trying to knock it out. There are so many ways to simulate what the game is like because at the end of the day, if you want to win in the NFL, protecting the ball is the #1 priority, and it cannot be stressed enough.
The motion man is Nakua. Throwing on second down, Shuck. Quick throw here is complete. They'll get maybe 3 out of that one, and it's going to set up third down.
Brings up 3rd and 6.
To the air is Shuck. Here's a screen set up to Williams. He's looking for room on the edge, but could not find any. They tracked him down behind the line, and it's 4th down. Punt team headed out for the Rams. He's on for the 2nd time and wouldn't mind a carbon copy of that first kick. the 20. And he's going to be taken down as time runs out on this third quarter of play. So, 3 quarters have come and gone. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. First and 10, and it's Allen. He'll swing this one out to Cook. And he's going to be brought down up past the 45. An even 20 yards. Impressive start to this drive.
And this is a tricky part of the game for any defense. You find yourself protecting a late lead, and the age-old question is, do you remain aggressive? Do you try to just keep the ball from being thrown over your head and make everything be tackled and played in front of you? That's what every defensive coordinator struggles with, so they can't get too soft here as they try to hold on to this lead here late.
Not much to speak of on that one. Maybe a gain of a yard. It's second down.
And they've really done a nice job defensively holding them in check. I mean, ideally, you'd want your back to average around 4 yards a pop, but they're falling short of that threshold as of now, and partially it's why they find themselves trailing at this stage in the game.
From just shy of midfield, here's second down. Operating out of the gun, here comes Allen. To the left side, it's caught by Shakir. And he's out of bounds, down inside the 35. 17 yards, the gain there. Good for a Bills first down. They'll run the toss with Cook. He is met and dropped. A couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage, too.
A little surprising to see them keep the ball on the ground, especially given the situation, Mike. I mean, you're trailing. You haven't had a lot of success running the ball up until this point. They need chunk plays. They need to score, and they need to score fast.
Last play went the wrong way. It sets up second and long. It's second down and 12. From the gun, it's Allen. That one's complete. It's Ray Davis. And he's going to be out of bounds awfully close to that first down mark, but they're going to mark him just short. So third down coming up.
It may not have moved the chains, but with what they were dealing with there on second down, that's a really nice pickup because now it opens up your play call sheet on third down where it's a little bit more manageable.
Third and inches. Allen will give this to Davis. And he's got nowhere to go. That defensive front controls the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up fourth down.
That's really well done defensively, Mike. The key to these situations is you got to engage with the blocker, bottle it up, but then you have to get off the block, find the ball, bring them down. That's exactly what they do. No gain, fourth down.
Trailing late, they've got to go here. It's fourth down. Allen gonna throw for it. Escaping the pressure right. Taking off, he'll try to get there. And he's gonna be marked out down at the 5. Give him 19 yards as they get the fourth down conversion.
When you find yourself trailing here late in the game, decision-making is critical. Not only is he able to extend the drive by picking up the first down with his legs, great job by the quarterback understanding, get out of bounds, stop the clock, save as much time as possible as they try to make a comeback.
Now Allen. That one taken in. Khalil Shakir. Touchdown Buffalo. 3 touchdowns for him. Numbers 6, 7, and 8 on the season. Greg, they are pecking away at this one now. Very big touchdown. Gets them right within reach of pulling this comeback off.
Well, Mike, at the very least, they've given themselves a chance, but can they get a stop and get the ball back again for a chance to go down and really make this one interesting?
Lining up for a 2-point conversion.
play clock down to 0. That's going to be a delay. So again, they will try for 2. This time, it comes from the 7-yard line. From the gun, here is Allen. He'll swing that out wide, and he's not going to get in. The decision to go for 2 doesn't pay off. Unable to cut any further into the deficit. So, things a little more interesting now. Back to a 1-score game as they kick it away. The return starts from the 5. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
Start on the ground, and he shows off those strong legs running through 1 tackle. Give him a gain of 8.
This just shows why you can't count on just one guy to take him down. He's a powerful enough runner. You gotta have guys coming in support when that first hit is made. It takes a team effort to stop him, especially once he gets going.
He's still on his feet, and they will bring this into the red zone. Big connection inside the 20. It's another big play in a game that's had its share. 47 yards.
So it's man coverage, Mike. You have to keep track of who your responsibility is. And in this case, he just drops him. He's wide open. Short throws turn into long runs, and they're inside the red zone.
Now the Rams going to use the first of their timeouts, and they'll have a chance to talk things over after picking up that first half. Turn and hand this one off. And he's into the end zone. That might be the knockout punch. Touchdown, Los Angeles. That's his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. Everything you want to do right there, Greg, in the 4th quarter. Get the ball with the lead and extend it to a 2-score advantage.
Yeah, and I think this just might end up being too much to overcome. You said it. Once you get a 2-score lead this late in the 4th quarter, there's just not enough possessions to be had to claw yourself back in it.
So following the score, here's Evans to send it away. On the return, this is Strong. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line.
Bills take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Middle.
On 1st and 10, it's Allen. He's looking deep for Shakir. That one underthrown and intercepted. Picked off by Emmanuel Forbes. And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead.
So this is where an offensive play caller needs to come to the rescue of his quarterback, because this defense, they're onto you. They've got 2 picks. They're starting to pick up on your tendencies. They're shifting guys over to counter them. Now you've got to add some wrinkles. Now you've got to throw him a curveball and try to shift back some of that advantage to your side of the ball.
On 1st and 10, here's Shuck. A hit as he throws there. It's going to wind up incomplete. The pressure got to him that time, and it'll set up 2nd down.
I think he knew in the back of his head, Mike, he had to get rid of this ball a little sooner than he would have liked. And with that pressure getting there in a hurry, just ends up being a wasted down.
Chuck to throw on 2nd down. Open man, downfield, it is Adams. And they are in great shape. He's taken down inside the 10. It's another big play in a game that's had its share. 31 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. It's 1st and goal now from just inside the 10-yard line. From the gun, it's Shuck. This one caught at the 4. And they'll get this down to the 3, but no further. It'll be 2nd and goal. The air once more. Shuck. Oh, that may be the break they needed. That one's intercepted. Picked up by Cole Bishop. And the Bills are going to have the football at their own 1-yard line.
So much of that play comes down to the defender's positioning. Being able to get himself to a spot, to get his hands on the ball, and a chance at that pick. Mike, when that ball was thrown, me and you are sitting here saying, that's a touchdown. And instead, they force a turnover, and now their offense is back on the field.
That one knocked away, and it's incomplete.
And the defender does such a good job, Mike, not only putting himself in position to make the play, but how often do we see guys that are there and they just can't quite make it? In this case, he's there, knocks the ball down, really nice play.
He connects with Palmer on that one. He gets free. Still on the move. And he's going to be dragged down, but not until he's inside the 25. It's another big play in a game that's had its share. That's a 76-yard gain. And for a 3rd time today, he's intercepted. Picked off by Emmanuel Forbes. And the Rams are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line.
And that should be the final dagger in this one. I mean, barring something dramatic happening here, Mike, I just don't think there's enough time or possessions left in this game to pull off any sort of comeback.
They'll drop to throw. That one down the field, but it is incomplete.
Just a little bit too much juice on that one, and you just can't throw the ball out of bounds. Give your receiver a chance to go up and compete for the ball, but when you miss that far wide, he's got no shot.
On 2nd down, it's Shuck. Gets it away quickly, and it's caught. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5. You've got to consider this an absolute must-stop defensively. It's 3rd down. Unloads downfield, looking for Nakua. And he is going to bring this one back. A DB's dream. A pick 6 for touchdown. You talk about the opportune time. The defense helps close the gap. A huge play to make this one a closer game.
Yeah, and anytime you find yourself trailing in the second half, Mike, you're looking for that spark. And boy, did the defense provide it. Not only creating the turnover, they take it back for 6, and they get themselves right back into this game.
The Bills are lining up for a 2-point conversion.
They'll try it with Cook. And he will not be able to make it to the goal line. It's a big stop. They can't get it back to a 1-score game. The lead will hold at 9.
Will Lutz set to kick off.
So now after the touchdown, Lutz going to send this one away. Here comes a return from the 3. A good return as he takes it across the 30.
At their own 32-yard line.
The drive begins with a run by Williams. And not much there. Good defense. Held to no gain. The Bills going to use the first of their timeouts. And they'll get together prior to the second down play.
Let's go. Go.
They'll go again here with Williams. And much more room to run on this one. Pickup of 8, and that'll bring up third down. Now a timeout, Buffalo. Their second. 70 seconds left to go in this game. On 3rd and 2. That may be the break they needed. That one's intercepted. Picked off by Kobe Bryant.
Well, Mike, this is entering the wrong kind of rarefied air. I mean, as in, it's only happened a handful of times since the turn of the millennium rare. It's an entire season's worth of picks thrown in just one game. I think at this point, you junk the playbook, you light it on fire, and we're just going to start from scratch next week.
Now Allen on first down. He's looking deep for Shaquille. And they're going to get this all the way down inside the 5. Here is first and goal. From the shotgun, it's Allen. He'll find his running back, Cook. And he is going the wrong way. Tackled back at the 7.
A 4-yard loss on the play. Second and goal.
To the air. On second down, here's Allen. And this is going to be a touchdown. Hold everything. They are not done yet. So that one, his 4th touchdown catch of the game. That is one behind the single-game NFL record. The kick by Lutz is good. And the Bills will cut it to a 2-point lead. A 1-score game late. You figure they got to have this one as they'll try an onside kick. The kickoff unit is out there, and they'll send this one away. And he'll be taken down. We'll see if they want to use that final timeout or not, but things are pretty much spoken for. Only one timeout remaining for the defense as they take a knee. So it's a win for the visiting Rams. They were forced to travel cross-country. They get the early start, 10 a.m. on their body clocks. They're happy now. They come away with the victory. So that'll do it for us. For Greg Olson and our terrific team behind the scenes, I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Follow us on X at EA Madden NFL. So long, everybody.
company. We know a lot about turning nothing to something. We doing big things, ain't never bluffing. Top of the world, ain't no doubt in mine, it's about time. Whoa. Hey, what you know? Hey, crashing out, but my pedal is to the floor. Whether in the clouds or down below. All I wanna do is hear you get loud. So get loud.
When I step up in the place, say yo, I step correct. Got you all in check. I got that head nod that make you your neck. I got you all in check, and you know we come through to wreck the discotheque. I got you all in check. Throw your hands up in the air, don't ever disrespect. I got you all in check. Bust the rhymes up in the blazer, true indeed. Yes, I got wreck, and that's word on my seed. I'm guaranteed to give you what you need. One blood, everybody like Junior Reed. Wake up every morning, yo, I must succeed. Nationwide rockers make the world stampede. Yo, Willie, make we roll some mad charge. Now I must proceed.